Okay, hello everybody. Hello, and welcome. What's everyone doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you are looking forward to today's gameplay stream. This is going to be a weird weekend. For sure. Certainly going to be some not exactly mainstream planned stuff going on here. I am Phil, of course. Welcome to my first of two gameplay streams for today. What are we doing this weekend? Well, here's what happened. The past 2 weeks, I had a bunch of games and things planned, alright? Including games such as Sonic Adventure 1, Tacoma, and Hellblade. And all these games ended up being much shorter than I had planned for. I thought, gee, if I'm playing 3 or 4 games over a course of 2 weeks here in the beginning of August, I'm gonna be packed. I'm gonna have so much stuff to do before we hit the new releases in the middle of August that we're not gonna have time for anything else. It actually ended up being the exact polar opposite of what I expected. Most of the games I played were incredibly short. Tacoma was only 3 hours long. Holy shit. Hellblade was only a little over 6. Sonic Adventure 1 I ended up beating in just a few sessions, so I said, well, what the hell? I'll play Sonic Adventure 2, why not? So I did. But even that ended up not being so long, only basically 3 sessions. And I wrapped up Sonic Adventure 2, so with all this time basically going, I basically had today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, really with nothing to do. Although I do want to play a session of fighting games this weekend, which I will discuss in just a moment. But outside of that, really, there was nothing definite really on the docket for me to do. It wasn't like there was any game that was coming out that I had to cover. I was actually interested in Lawbreakers, which came out this week. Except that it's turning out to be the biggest first-person shooter flop in history. Within 3 days, the game has, I think, from what I'm to understand, barely 2,000 people even playing it at this point. That's pathetic. For a game that was supposed to be a high-profile release to come out, and within a few days, no one's playing it. So I was like, I'm definitely not going to buy that game. That would probably end up being a waste of money, because I'll play it once or twice and never play it again, and no one's going to play it again. So that being said, I really had nothing to do this weekend. All right. So I was like, what should I do? And last night on the podcast, my Hate Live podcast, which by the way, I did the first podcast in 2 months last night, and it was a 3-hour-long podcast. So if you did not watch it, if you missed out, that is live over on the King of Hate Vlogs, and you should definitely check that out, okay? But anyway, during the podcast, I was polling the stream chat, and I was like, what do you guys think I should play, for this weekend? And I got so many different answers. I got play Night in the Woods, play Nier Automata, play a fighting game, play an adventure game, play this game, play that game, and really there was no consensus at all, alright, and being that there was no consensus, I knew that no matter what I played this weekend, that it was going to basically be a divisive game, because you'll have a bunch of people who want to see one particular thing that they have in mind, and sadly they would not be happy that I'm playing something that was not in mind of what they wanted. So really I said, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. So let me just think, what do I feel like playing this weekend, right? I've got several sessions here of gameplay that I can divvy out. I said, what is it that I actually feel like playing? So I thought about it. And I determined, after putting some thought into it last night, I'm really craving a horror game. I haven't really played a horror-style game in quite some time. The last one was actually Resident Evil 7 back in January. And that also being said, honestly, I mean, was that really horror? Yes and no. Yes, there were definitely horror elements to it, but You know what I mean? Like, I was really craving this, like, old school style survival horror game. And I was like, it would also be a perfect lead-in, because really the next horror game we're going to get is The Evil Within 2, which is coming out on Friday the 13th in October. So I knew there would be a few months, 2 months here before we'd be playing another horror game anyway. Yeah, I guess that's true. Outlast 2 was also this year. But you see what I mean? Like, the horror releases were few and far between, and really, they didn't really resonate. I don't know why. They just didn't leave, like, a lasting impression on me. Outlast 2, I felt could have been a lot better. Resident Evil 7, I really liked. But it seems like Resident Evil 7 was a million years ago, doesn't it? Right? When you really think about it, I don't know. You know, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, I don't know. It seems like this year has been a slow year when it comes to how the year is moving, right? Like, it seems like January is like a million years away, but it was only, what, not even 8 months ago? I don't know. It's one of those years that just seems like time is moving very slowly to me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But it just seems like a slow year so far. Of course, you know what's going to happen is as soon as all the new releases start releasing next week, time's gonna be like flying as we go and cover covering all these new games, and you guys are here checking out the streams or whatever and playing the games yourself, because I'm sure many of you will be buying all the new releases and everything coming out. This is the time of the year typically when time starts to fly. So, yeah. So all that being said, I said I really feel like a horror game, and basically I looked around what's available. And, of course, there's always a million indie titles. Nothing really, sparked my interest there. And I said, you know what? I know for a fact that the PlayStation 3, because it emulates games that are on PS2 and older consoles, PS1, ends up having a wide selection of survival horror games. Because, it's an older console. It has access to all of those, right? So I said, all right, let's check it out. Let's see. And I did some searching last night. And basically, I narrowed it down to 2 games. Either Silent Hill Origins, which is the Silent Hill game that basically ties in with the plot of the original Silent Hill 1. And a lot of people, basically, they describe this game as the final game in the kind of classic Silent Hill franchise. After this, all the Silent Hill games started changing the way that they were played and deviating from the common formula for Silent Hill games. So, it was between that and Siren Blood Curse. Alright. So if you're not aware what Siren Blood Curse is, Siren Blood Curse is. It's a survival horror game. It was released in 2008 as an episodic title on the PlayStation 3. Of course, keep in mind, back then, I was just starting my YouTube videos and stuff, and I didn't even know about the game, so it wasn't even on my radar at that time. It apparently is a reboot of a PlayStation 2 game called just simply Siren. However, from what I'm to understand, that PS2 game was a cult hit. Like, people really liked it, but it also was one of the hardest games in the survival horror genre. Like, people really, it's known for crippling difficulty. So they decided to kind of reboot it. I guess this game is kind of like a reimagining or rebooting. It's the same plot, but a very different game gameplay-wise. Apparently, there's 7 different characters that you play as over the course of the game. And the game is divided up into 12 different episodes. Okay? So I don't know how this game is going to play. I really have no idea about the gameplay of this game. But it is an actual PlayStation 3 era game. So graphics-wise, it shouldn't be too bad, you know. It's not like we're playing a PS1 or PS2 emulated game where the graphics are going to be absolutely terrible. So you might say, well, why did I pick Siren Blood Curse over Silent Hill Origins? Well, very simply, sadly, Silent Hill Origins was not available for digital download. The only version that was available on the PlayStation Network was for the PSP, which I don't have. And I also don't own a PS TV. So I don't have the ability to play the game. I don't know why they don't have Silent Hill Origins available as a download from the console version, because it did have a console version. It exists. I don't know why they don't have it available. That's really stupid. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a Sony decision. I guess maybe a licensing decision where they can't have the console version available digitally, but they can have the PSP version available. Very odd to me. So, for now, sadly, Silent Hill Origins is off the table. And honestly, I don't know how we'll ever play it because I don't have an ability to capture the old school consoles. If I actually bought it, let's say on Amazon or whatever, I have no way to capture the PS2. You know, my capture ability is all based off of HDMI, which is basically, you know, Xbox 360, PS3 era and up. So I don't know how I would ever play it. Yeah, sadly, it sucks because I know there's a couple Silent Hill games out there that I want to play, and I don't have the ability to play them, okay, because of that. Now, I just got some interesting trivia from Bionichute in the stream chat. He says that this game, Siren Blood Curse, actually was designed by the original Silent Hill team. That apparently Konami got rid of them at some point and had other people continue to make the Silent Hill games, and this team went on to make Siren Blood Curse. So, that's actually kind of cool. I like that. That's neat. Because that means that, you know, this is going to be like almost like a spiritual successor to the kind of game that Silent Hill was. So I guess we're going to see together, you know, what it is. All right. Now, here's the deal, folks. We're going to start in just a couple minutes here. We're going to see what this game is. All right. And we're going to check it out together. I'm very curious to see what it is. I hope that it's good. I hope that it has scares and, you know, fun stuff in it. Because like I said, I haven't played a horror game in so long. This will be something different. I have basically today and 2 more streams to play this game before new releases hit. Alright? If I start playing this game and I like it, let's say I really like, wow, this is good, I want to keep going, I want to see what happens with the plot or whatever, then I will, even if I don't finish the game in time before the new releases hit on Tuesday, I will still play it. Alright? It'll basically just, it'll be a playthrough that I do as downtime stuff. Okay? It'll be balanced in with all the new releases for the rest of this month. Yeah, because the thing is, if you're not aware, Danganronpa 2 is almost over. In fact, tonight, I will actually be playing Danganronpa 2, alright, for about 2 hours. And this will basically be the end of the 5th trial, or at least get us to the end with the part where the trial is on suspend, so that we can head into Chapter 6. And Chapter 6 is actually the conclusion of Danganronpa 2. So we're near the end of the game. And people were even saying another maybe 3-4 streams of Danganronpa 2, and I will have wrapped it up. So, more than likely, Danganronpa 2 will be concluding in the next week or 2. Tops. So that means that if I like this game, and if we like it, you know, if we're all watching it together and it's an entertaining game, we want to keep going with it, this will be the game that I'll kind of balance in with the new releases for the rest of the month. Alright? Fair enough. Sound good. And then, you know, once this game gets wrapped up, then next month, the next downtime game will be whatever the patrons vote, because the patrons currently are nominating a playthrough, and then they're going to start voting on it, so that'll be kind of the next downtime thing. Alright? So there you go. That's cool that we got something here that's kind of squeezed in. So right now, Siren Blood Curse premieres, and then tonight will be Danganronpa 2, 2 more hours, trying to finish up Chapter 5 and head into Chapter 6. Hopefully we can get there tonight. Tomorrow, folks. Tomorrow, I'm on the fence if I should play more Siren Blood Curse or if I'm going to do Ultra Street Fighter 2. Let me put it this way. Whatever I don't do tomorrow, I'm doing on Sunday. So tomorrow will either be more Siren or it'll be Ultra Street Fighter 2. And then Sunday will be the opposite. Alright? Since I only do 1 stream a day on weekends, that's what it's going to be. Okay? And then on Monday, will be more Siren, and then probably some Danganronpa 2 at night. However, some people did express some desire for a midnight release coverage of the new releases coming out on Tuesday. The new releases coming out this Tuesday are Agents of Mayhem, the new game from the dev team that made the I almost said Silent Hill. That made the Saints Row series, excuse me. And Sonic Mania, the 2D classic side-scrolling new version of Sonic the Hedgehog that Sonic fans are hyped for. Okay? So, yeah, I am excited for both of those. Now, the thing is, I don't actually know if either of those games is going to unlock at midnight on the PlayStation 4. There's potential that if I pre-order them, they will, or they might not. They might not unlock till the next day. And that would kind of suck. And I don't know. We'll see. What I have to do is this weekend do a little bit of research. And if one of those games does unlock at, say, midnight on Monday, what I may do is forego the Danganronpa stream, relax a little bit, and then at 9 p.m., which would be midnight Eastern time, play for 2-3 hours one of these new releases. Okay? But we'll see. I have to double check that. I am interested in doing it, but I need to confirm that the games are actually coming out at midnight on PSN before I can make you guys a promise. And the thing is, folks, I'm very strongly considering doing midnight releases a lot this hardcore gaming season, because now I have the flexibility to do it. I'm the master of my own schedule, my own destiny. You know, I'm single now. I don't have to worry about someone else in the house being angry that I'm playing games late at night or whatever. So I basically can do midnight release whenever I want. So if it's a game that people have interest in and want to see me do a midnight release, then I may do it. All right. So let's see. I know people are hyped right now for this gaming season to start, and already they want me to do midnight releases. So, so we'll see. We'll see. You know, I've got to confirm that, and I'll let you guys know in the next day or two. All right. So this weekend will be more Siren and Ultra Street Fighter 2, depending on how well today goes. All right, either tomorrow will be more Siren or Ultra Street Fighter 2, and Sunday will be the opposite. Also, an update for patrons, July patrons. If you pledged to pay my Patreon in July, you're waiting to get your perks. Hopefully you responded to my private message on the Patreon.com. All right, and if you did, thank you. I have your information. I'm going to forward that to my webmaster on Sunday night, and I should be able to have your upgrades and everything processed during the course of this next week, so you can start nominating games for the Patron's Choice playthrough, so you can post up your questions for Ask the King, which takes place in 2 weeks. You know, there's a lot of stuff you got to start working on. So, I will hopefully have your upgrades processed shortly. Sound good? Sound good? All right. What else? Really not much else to talk about. This is really the final downtime before we hit the new releases. And then, you know, once the new releases constantly start coming out, that's when I'm going to get so wrapped up in them that, you know, we're not going to have days like today where it's like, oh, it's free time. I don't know what to do. It's going to be new release, new release, new release. Oh, there's downtime. Okay, squeeze in the game that I was playing before the new releases. And it's going to be like that for months on end. You know how it is during the season of the year. So, yeah. Oh, okay. So, I should address this. By the way, I see a lot of people are giving me cheers and subs, or not cheers and subs, cheers and tips and stuff. Don't worry, you're going to get your shout-outs. But I want to talk about these few things first. The one thing that I should talk about today, No Man's Sky. Are you guys aware that No Man's Sky still exists? That's right, the company didn't go out of business because they sold so many goddamn copies of an unfinished game that they made bank, basically. But No Man's Sky got a big update today. 1 year after its initial release of being a major flop and an unfinished game, No Man's Sky is finally apparently finished. They actually put in multiplayer, which they promised at launch a year ago. They updated the graphics. There's a 30-hour story-based campaign in the game now. Yeah, of course, now you might say, but who cares? And you know what? You're right. That's the problem with a game like No Man's Sky. You cannot release a game in 2016, in the summer of 2016, completely unfinished, not ready to be made or to be released and sold, and then expect that because you actually finished the game over the course of a year afterward, that anyone's going to give a shit. And quite honestly, nobody should give a shit. At this point, no one's ever going to buy another game that this studio makes. If you ever hear a game from the makers of No Man's Sky, you say, wow, that game sounds like No Man's Buy. Because I'm not buying it because the game studio fucked us once before. You know? Although, you know, I do say that. But then yet, come another few weeks here, come early September, how many people are going to buy Destiny 2, right? When Destiny 1 was basically an unfinished game that didn't have fun endgame content at all. It was just a boring, repetitive grind until they released chargeable expansions. Then the game got good, apparently, right? So, yeah, pretty, it's really a non-announcement. Of course, I'm sure there'll be people who play it and they'll say, oh, it's great, it's the best game of the year. No, it's not even a game from this year. It's not. They sold it last year, it was a flop. Now, because they're updating it constantly, it doesn't count anymore, you know? And that's the sad fact, is that No Man's Sky could end up being the best game this year. It actually could. It could end up being living up to all the potential that Sean Murray promised. Real, you know, infinitely generated universal expansions with story on every planet, fun races and fun combat, you know, better crafting mechanics, base building, actual multiplayer interaction. And guess what? It won't matter anymore. If anything, I think they finally realized you can't commit the ultimate sin and expect to be forgiven no matter how much you try to make up for it. You just can't do it. And that's sad. It is sad because, like I said last year, I really felt No Man's Sky could have been an amazing game. And they blew it. They freaking blew it. All right. It's time for shout-outs, folks. Let me go all the way down here. So first of all, I apologize because it's not showing up here in my Muxie on my laptop, but I actually have Muxie open on my desktop. Let me take a look here. Here we go. Just One Puff actually resubscribed to the channel this morning. Thank you, Just One Puff, for the resub. You know what I should mention? Folks, I've noticed over the past week, a ton of people who were subbed to the channel here unsubbed. Now, I don't think they unsubbed. I just think they were doing the monthly sub like with Twitch Prime, and so it expired. So you might want to check, especially if you were a sub of the channel. You may have it. It might have lapsed. I'm certainly not saying, you know, I expect your sub. I don't. I'm not trying to be entitled to it. I'm just saying, FYI, perhaps it expired and you didn't realize. Because, I mean, I'm talking like 40 subs all lapsed in the past week. So give it a look, okay? All right, now let's do some more shout-outs here. Goku Deep Throats Gohan. Wow, a nice incestuous name. Tipped me $2 and says, are you going to play No Man's Sky Update? No. I am not. I don't care about that game anymore. Dapex1 tipped me... Oh my god, can you tell I'm drinking the V8 drink this morning? Excuse me. I say this morning and it's 1:14 p.m. by the way. Anyway, Dapex1 did a 70-bit cheer and says, horror hype. Anzik Had gave me a 10-bit cheer and says, when are you going to finish your Skate 2 playthrough? Maybe when I hit the dimensional rift and go back in time. Alexander Rossi gave me a 10-bit cheer and he says, who did you end up using your free Amazon Prime Twitch sub on? I believe I gave it to Tolo Mayor last time that I saw that I had it. I don't know if it's expired. But typically what I do is, you know, at night sometimes I'll turn my stream off and I'll be uploading and I'll notice that my channel hosted somebody and I'll check out their stream, and if their stream is good then I'll sub to them with the Twitch Prime sub. It just almost always ends up being Tolo Mayor. He seems to be the person who most often streams right after me. So typically he's been getting it. Alright. Shout out to Rings of Redemption, who tipped me $5. Is this the real Wings of Redemption? Who knows? But that's what they chose to make their name. He says, just finished watching your Pokemon Moon playthrough and I thought it was hilarious. Will you ever do any of the first or second gen games? Keep up the good work, pimp. No. Sadly, unless there was like a real reason to do it. Like if they remastered them or something. I wouldn't really go back. Sadly, I can't play Nintendo games anymore and make money on them. Because Nintendo claims all fucking Nintendo videos. You know, I played Pokemon Moon when I was still with Machinima. And because I was in a managed partnership, I was protected from that bullshit. Now, all of my videos have been claimed. So I can't really do Nintendo games anymore. It sucks. But it's reality, I guess. I'm actually really curious to see coming up Mario X Rabbids, which is coming out in late August here, and I am going to be playing it. I'm curious to see if those videos will be claimed or not, because I don't think it's a first-party title, because it's from Ubisoft. I think technically the game is actually a third-party title for the Nintendo Switch, and therefore I'm thinking maybe the videos will not get claimed, and I'll actually be able to play the game and you know, actually make some money on the playthrough. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Shout out to Ornites, who did a 10-bit cheer and said Sonic Heroes. Nah. Dude, at this point, there's no time for more Sonic. I'm all Sonic now. We're going to be playing Sonic Mania this week coming up. And then later this year, we got Sonic Forces. That's enough Sonic. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 within a week and a half is enough for me. And then Coral Guy, resubscribed to the channel for the 5th month in a row. Thank you, Coral Guy. And he says, Phil, I'm sorry I missed out on your Hellblade playthrough. I didn't want to get spoiled. Right now I'm diving back into No Man's Sky. Do not judge. Oh my god. Coral Guy is actually going to try to play No Man's Sky with its updates and shit. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well. Well, folks. That is it for today's pre-stream. I hope that you enjoyed it. Hope that you found it productive, entertaining, informative, maybe sexually arousing in some ways. I don't know. I guess that's your own personal preference. But I hope you like the pre-stream. What I will say is this. Thank you to those who are supportive and who help me out in various ways and allow me to continue to do this on a daily basis, including those who pledge to my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil. Especially, or also those who check out my Teespring and buy merch there. You've already seen the plug here on pre-stream. But in particular, those who cheer, sub, and tip me during the course of streams. Alright, if you do so, you will get a shout-out. If you do that during the course of today's stream, and keep in mind, if you cheer 50 bits or more, if you sub to the channel and click on the share button, or if you tip me $2 or more, you'll get an on-screen pop-up. That will be visual recognition, as well as the verbal recognition. So basically, you get double recognition if you do those levels, okay? So, there you have it. And one final shout out to Yakalaka JP, who did a 50-bit cheer and did a bunch of those corgi emotes and said Shibito hype. I don't know what Shibito means, but there you go. Oh, there you go. Goku Deep Throat's Phil Burnell just tipped me $1 and says, did you start Super yet? What are you talking about? Oh, maybe he's talking about Dragon Ball Super. No, because Dragon Ball Super, in order to watch all the episodes, right, wouldn't I have to get a subscription to some kind of anime service? And right now, with the way things are, I'm not doing that yet. Actually, someone sent me a gift card for Netflix. So I think I will actually start a Netflix subscription in September, when I'm going to do things like try to binge watch Stranger Things to get ready for the season 2 and watch all the Marvel shows and shit like that. And also The Walking Dead's last season. I missed the whole thing. So once that pops up on Netflix, I'll be watching that. But I don't really want to get into an anime, service right now when I know I'm going to be ended up getting lost in the black hole that is Netflix. Some people are saying you can watch it online for free. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not really... maybe I will, but the thing is, to watch it online, I can't watch it on my TV. I wouldn't be able to watch it... I'd have to watch it on, like, a laptop or something. Or my phone. Which, honestly, I'm not too interested in doing. I like to relax and watch stuff on my TV through apps or through, my DVD player or whatever. Or my cable service. So, we'll see. It's not out of the question that I'll watch Dragon Ball Super. I'm just, I'm not dying to watch it in particular because I just watched the entirety of Dragon Ball Z over the past year and a half, so I'm not exactly dying to rush into it, okay? Shout out to Be The Baby, who did a 10-bit cheer. And then shout out to Rouchafan, who gave me a $5 tip. He says, let's all watch Phil's stream in the nude. Wow. We have an exhibitionist here, ladies and gentlemen. Rouchafan would like to watch in the nude. He says, I kid, keep up the awesome work, Phil. Oh, you were kidding? I was taking my clothes off. Well, all right, I'll put them back on then. Here we go. All right, I guess it's not a good idea because I probably would get banned from Twitch if I did this in the nude. So I'm just saying. I enjoy streaming here daily on Twitch. I don't think I want to get banned, so I'll put my clothes back on. And Be The Baby did a 10-bit cheer and said, beige shirt. No, I'm not wearing a beige shirt. Actually, I'm wearing my Resident Evil shirt today because I'm getting into the survival horror mood. So, all righty. I just finished my VA energy drink, thank goodness. Okay. Let us begin. Siren Blood Curse. Will I be scared? Will I shit my pants live on stream? If I do, I will show you the skid marks. Alright, I promise you I won't show you the skid marks if I actually shit my pants on stream. Then again, these survival horror games never really scare me. If anything, it's just a jump scare, right? Although, you know, every once in a while you get one that's psychological horror that kind of sticks with you, but... Alright. Let's begin. Here we go. Enough about my skid marks. Let's begin. Oh! Hold on. Ratchet Fan just gave me another $5 tip. He says, speaking of a Netflix show I'd recommend for you, it's BoJack Horseman. An animated show full of adult humor. Yeah, you know, I started seeing, a couple years ago, I started seeing memes on the internet of BoJack Horseman, but I never knew where the hell the show was, and I just found out recently it's a Netflix show, and that's why I didn't know where it was, because I didn't have Netflix. Yeah, probably another one I'll be checking out. Okay. Shout out to L19485 who gave me a 10-bit cheer and says, do you like Kevin Smith and his movies? Yes and no. I like some Kevin Smith stuff, like Clerks, Mallrats. However, there's some other stuff like Chasing Amy, and what was that other one he did with fucking Jennifer Lopez or whatever? It's kind of hit or miss. Some of his stuff I really like. Some of his stuff I don't. So it all depends. But I think that Clerks is one of those like American classic movies, an independent film that got such mainstream attention that Kevin Smith will be famous pretty much forever for doing that, you know. And it is one of my favorite movies of all time. Zavon just tipped me $6. And he said, watching in the nude? How dare you? Wearing 4 layers of clothing is the optimal way to play. Oh, okay. Bundling up like in A Christmas Story when the kids go out in the morning and the kid has so many layers of clothes on he can't even put his arms down. And when he trips on the snow, he can't get up. He's stuck on his back like a turtle. There you go. That's how you got to watch my streams. You got to defend yourself. You got to wear like a suit of armor to watch me play games. All right. Let's begin, folks. Let's begin with Siren Blood Curse. Here we go.